Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be messing with this globe right here, this 12-inch in diameter globe. This is a very old globe. Well, I say very old, but that's to me at least. I don't know exactly what year this globe was made, but we'll kind of guess, we'll kind of estimate when it was made based on the names of the countries. But this is essentially just going to be messing around with this globe. I don't really have a goal in mind. I'm a huge fan of globes. Actually, if you saw my first video, then you probably saw this globe right here. Now it's out of focus, but this globe I got from my dad when he went to Zurich, Switzerland for a business trip. I don't know exactly what it's made out of, but it's very nice. It's not perfectly round, and it's not perfectly accurate on the country aspect, but it's very nice. It has what seems like carved gemstones as each of the different countries. I don't know how well you can see this, but yeah, this has been a treasured possession of mine since I was little. Here, actually, let me do one thing. Sorry. Let me just finagle this right here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Anyway, so if you saw my first video, you know that I value this miniature globe very much. But here we have this 12-inch diameter globe. This is my father's. This is my dad's childhood globe, so I'm going to be very careful with it. It has some pieces that are taped. For instance, right here. Minor bruises, minor cuts, but anyway, I'm just going to be tapping and listing out the countries. So we'll first start with my home, the United States of America. So this is labeled, actually, is this? Yes. It is called the United States of America on here. I am down here. Let me see if I can, there we go, right down here in Florida. I won't say exactly where, but I'm in north central Florida area. It's honestly very different from what people normally think of when they think of Florida. Everyone thinks of Miami and Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, but I live in the more country part of Florida, up in North Florida. But the United States of America, and to the north we have Canada, and to the south we have Mexico. And we move over to the east. We have, oh, actually, you know what? Can't forget South America. There we go. Let's see if I can angle this properly. We have South America right here. I don't know every country, but I do know Colombia. My friend is from Colombia, one of my friends. And Argentina, of course. I watched the World Cup, as we Americans say, for soccer. The rest of the world calls it football. So yeah, South America. I don't believe there would be any major changes to help us figure out the age of this globe. But we'll move on. Let's go up north just a little bit more. Let me grab this the right way. Let's see. To Greenland. One of the larger islands of this globe. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It is its own territory. I don't believe it's owned truly by any one nation. I believe Iceland is owned in part by Finland. I'm not exactly sure. Average American intelligence for geography. We don't focus on it very much, but I do like to learn about the world and its countries and its peoples. But yes, Greenland and Iceland. Misleading. Greenland is very, very icy, and Iceland is rather green. So we'll move on to Europe. This is well known to most people. We have the United Kingdom, Wales, England, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. These four countries make up the United Kingdom. Of course, Ireland, the more southern part, is separate from the United Kingdom, and there's a lot of history behind that. Maybe I'll dive into that in a future video. But we move on to, let's see, France right here, Spain. I have some friends out in Spain. I believe, I can't see it on my playback, but I believe Norway and Sweden. Let me check just to make sure. Yes, Norway and Sweden. And then, of course, as I was saying, Finland, right here. And we have Germany. There we go. Germany and Poland. Right here we have smaller countries. I won't name every single one, but this is essentially the bulk of Europe and Portugal right here. This is the bulk of Europe, not including Russia, which I will say, this does help us figure out how old this globe is. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. The USSR, the Soviet Union, as it was formerly known. This is now Russia, of course. But pre-19, I believe it was 1990 or 1991. Pre-1990 or 91, this was known as the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. This was a communist nation. The USSR and the United States of America were bitter enemies for a long time after World War II. Of course, the United States prospered while the USSR faltered in many, many ways, and the Chernobyl disaster and shortcomings in their economy and their form of government, of course, finalized the nail in the coffin for the for the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR. So this is considered part of Europe, although it's actually partly on the Asian continent, I believe, and we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so Asia. Well, actually, let's talk a little bit about Africa first. So we have several countries. Actually, I don't think so. I was about to say, I think Africa is the continent with the most named countries. It could be. I'm not exactly sure on that. I'll look it up. I'll put a little thing in the video. But we have the very, very massive continent of Africa right here. Let me just twist it over there. There we go. So Africa is not the largest. I believe it's either the second or third largest continent, with Antarctica being number one at the very bottom right here. And I Eurasian continent being number 2. I could be mistaken. But here we have Africa, and it's many, many countries. Libya, Ethiopia. Where's Ethiopia? I can't see on here. Many countries that are named, and some tribes that are unnamed. But yes, a very, very big continent with many, many people. So we have Egypt. Egypt has a lot of history, a lot of which we go over in school and just from movies and TV and random history videos you might watch on YouTube. But obviously the Nile River running up here. Actually, fun fact, I can't remember which direction it is. I believe it's south to north that the river flows. Possibly, I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. But fun fact, there are only a few rivers in the world that run either south to north or north to south. I can't remember which. One of which is the Nile River. The other, which is in my home state of, Florida, the St. Johns River, which goes through Jacksonville and some other cities in Florida. But I thought that was rather cool when I heard about it. So yeah, Africa, down here, massive continent. We'll move up to the Middle East with Israel and Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, many countries that are currently in conflict with each other. Hopefully we can make peace pretty soon. Israel, being a very rich in history country, all of them, all Abrahamic religions originate from this region of the world. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll move on to Asia, cover that a little bit. Asia, right here. So we have China, India. My best friend is half Indian. His dad and his dad's parents were originally from India, moved over to the United States a very long time ago. But I've learned a lot about Indian culture and about the Indian people from him and from his family, and they're very, very, very interesting people and have an interesting culture. Pakistan, Bangladesh, I can't remember. I think maybe it's this. No, Afghanistan. Afghanistan is this country in pink. Let's see. Bangladesh, yes. So Bangladesh is this tiny country in blue. And then we have Burma, we have Nepal right above there. There's a lot of history with the borders of these nations. Post-World War II, it seems a lot of it was determined by the Western countries in Europe. So yes, India, China, we have Mongolia, I believe, somewhere. Yeah, Mongolia to the north. Let's see, Laos and Thailand. Then we have Micronesia right here. We have Indonesia and Philippines and all the island nations down here. And then, of course, we have, North Korea and South Korea. And we have Japan right here. Japan, a very, very prosperous and growing nation and culture. Very interesting people from Japan. It's always fascinating to learn about other cultures, and I like to learn a little bit here and there. I would not say I'm an academic in geography. I'm a math and English person, but it's always nice to learn different things about different countries, and well, it's very nice to learn about the Asian region of the world. Let's see, we have Malaysia is at the very bottom of these islands. Let's see, we have Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, of course, down here. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Let's see. Okay, let's move on to Australia. Australia, country which is also its own continent, the only country that can claim to be so. Australia is a country that I very highly desire to visit one day. Australia and New Zealand as well. New Zealand is down here, right here. So yeah, Australia is a very fascinating country with a rich biosphere. Many creepy crawlies down there, which I'm not too excited for. Very big spiders and snakes and worms and centipedes and all kinds of bugs. Many cool creatures too, kangaroos. Kangaroos are pretty funny creatures. I'd like to see one day. And capybaras too. Those are very nice. But yeah, Australia right here. New Zealand, the filming location for the Lord of the Rings franchise and The Hobbit. Very beautiful place to be in the world. Many rolling hills and mountains and plains and fields, and I would very much like to go there one day, but that might be far into the future. Okay, so let's see, where's Hawaii? Here we go. Hawaii is right down here, right almost smack in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which is the largest ocean. As you can see, you can essentially turn the whole globe to this side, and it is entirely ocean, entirely water. It's very fascinating. But Hawaii down there, we have Alaska, the two non-continental states in the United States. This was Alaska was actually purchased from Russia in, I believe it was 1887. Again, I have not researched too much into this. I've heard little bits here and there, but I've not researched too much into this, so much of this information that I'm telling you might be inaccurate or just plain wrong. But yeah, Alaska, the largest state by area, also the longest coastline in the United States. However, Florida takes that in the continental lower 48 of the United States. So second largest would be Florida, and the largest would be Alaska up here. So yeah, maybe one day I'll get into the rest of the United States state by state. That'd be very nice. So that was my video on this fantastic globe. Just based off the names of the countries and what exists now versus what exists on, this country, Yugoslavia, is a good indicator. Czechoslovakia as well. But I'd like you to guess down below what year this globe was made, and we'll go over it together and see when it was made. I don't believe it actually says on here, but I'm sure I can find this globe somewhere online, and I'll let you know if you were right, or if I don't know, then we'll just make an educated guess. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that this video was relaxing and rather informative. Maybe not totally accurate or right, but I'm a huge fan of globes, so I just like doing stuff for fun. having fun with this. So thank you guys for watching.